Alright guys, this is it. The Supreme Court announced today that they're going to be taking up all of the cases that the Sixth Circuit ruled against this November involving same-sex couples and same-sex marriage. And because they're taking cases from all the states, Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, it means they're tackling both the issues of whether or not states can ban same-sex marriage, along with whether states can refuse to recognize legal same-sex marriages performed in other states, aka DOMA Section 2. So because they're hearing stuff from both issues and on the same day, the only punt the Supreme Court has left is to hear arguments this term but decide the issue in 2016, which is still a possibility given how late in the term it is. But yeah, this is going to be the big one because I don't see any other possible way they can issue a ruling, positive or negative, and not have this be the definitive issue, because attorney generals and governors are defending the bans this time. There's a confliction of ruling in the courts, and just I can't see any way for them not to have this be the 50-state ruling, no matter what they do. So this is going to be it. As for the way I think the justices are going to go, well, the way I see it, there's only three possibilities as to how this case turns out. 5-4 in favor of the bans, 5-4 against the bans, 6-3 against the bans. So going into more detail, well, it's obvious that the four liberals are going to vote against the bans, and it's also obvious that Scala and Thomas are going to rule in favor of the bans. Alito, even though he has been disallowing stays against gay marriage recently, I think because this is the big one, he's going to go back to Scala and Thomas, at least in terms of the bans for each individual state being constitutional. He could surprise me, but I just don't see it. As for Kennedy, well, even though he doesn't really want to admit it, he knows in his heart that all the pressure is pretty much on him now because, well, he's been the majority opinion writer for 3 of the 4 big Supreme Court cases involving gay people, and he wrote the minority opinion for Perry vs. Hollingsworth, although that was actually an organized punt by the Supreme Court given who voted for who. The DOMA case, everyone voted the way we expected them to, yeah. Yeah, he knows that it's going to come down to him on this matter, but given that the court has agreed to see it at this point, I feel all that needs to happen is the gay marriage proponents just need to do a good job in front of the justices, and we've got him. And then that leaves Roberts. Well, he's a tricky one because, well, a little bit of a history lesson. Back when Prop 8 was before the Supreme Court case, I saw that quite a few people were actually mentioning him as the possibility to be the 5th vote, and I acknowledged that that was a possibility, and for the longest time I genuinely did think that the only difference in voting between DOMA and Prop 8 was that Kennedy and Roberts switched places. I know now that wasn't true, but yeah, and then I remember reading this post that I found online. If I find it again, I'll put it in the description, where the author of the post indicated that in a little bit of a dissent that Roberts gave on the DOMA case, that he has been gradually allowing himself some headway with gay couples. He just decided to dissent in the DOMA ruling, even though he knew that they weren't officially deciding the issue. And let's be realistic here, given the decisions that they've made back in 2013 and the decisions that they're going to be making with these cases, I think in hindsight, DOMA Section 3 is going to be the least influential decision out of all of them, I think that's arguable, but whatever. And given how he, without question, has been disallowing the stays on gay marriage and was definitely one of the justices that turned away appeals back in October, I think he's all but willing to flip because he knew that this was going to happen. He just didn't know when. And I think, unlike, what's his name? Wellenquist, I cannot pronounce that. He doesn't want to be viewed as, really being any negative because Wellenquist upheld the sodomy bans both in the Georgia case and Lawrence v. Texas. And Wellenquist was also a dissenter in that other gay people case that Kennedy authored, and Wellenquist also dissented in Roe v. Wade. Whoa, what happened there? But, yeah, I think Roberts is smart enough to recognize that his court is probably going to allow gay marriage, and I think he's not personally opposed to the issue. I think, like with Thomas in regards to Lawrence v. Texas, he's just having trouble finding the exact legal reason to strike it down. And if he especially thinks that Kennedy is going to vote against the bans, he might go with Kennedy. Yeah. And I'd really hope that it would be a 6-3 ruling, because if it's 5-4, I don't really think it sends like a huge message that will make it seem like it's on a fragile playing field, kind of like the flag burning situation. That was a 5-4 ruling, and to this day, people still challenge it. Now, I know that people still challenge Roe v. Wade, yes, but Roe v. Wade didn't answer like all of the big questions involved with abortion and such, but these cases are definitely answering said questions, okay? So I'm thinking that Roberts has one heck of a good chance to rule against the bans, but I'm kind of uncertain about him, although nowhere near as certain as Alito, so my personal thinking on this, hoping for the 6-3 against the bans, but more than likely it'll probably be 5-4. I don't know. Kennedy Roberts, it's all up to you guys. Do the right thing, okay? We just need one of you to do it. Don't keep us waiting, okay?